If you're buying or selling a home, the home inspection is one of the biggest milestones.
We're going to walk you through what to expect in a home inspection. I'm Greg.
And I'm Liz.
We're the Holmes real estate team here in Surrey, BC. Let's get to it.
Let's start with what is a home inspection. A home inspection is a detailed look at the home's condition, inside and out, done by a licensed professional. It's not meant to scare anyone. It's just to bring peace of mind and help you understand the home's conditions.
A home inspection covers like the big systems of a home, right? The roof, the electrical, plumbing, heating, air conditioning if a home has that. It's a visual inspection of the home. Inspectors aren't going to be opening up any walls or taking anything apart. It's just a visual inspection of the property. And sometimes they do extras like thermal imaging if needed.
And it's not a pass or fail situation. It's kind of like a report card, like telling you what's good, what could be improved. Just helps buyers make more informed decisions.
So we get asked a lot, well, when does a home inspection happen and who pays for it, right? So a home inspection is usually done after an offer is accepted, during the subject removal phase of a property. The conditions, including financing and home inspection, have to occur before you put down the deposit and make it a firm deal. Home inspections usually cost between $500 to $800, again, depending on what's needed on the home and whether it's a condo, townhome, or a house.
There can also be extras that you might pay for if you wanted to have like thermal imaging or a sewer scope, so that might be a little bit extra for you.
Yeah, it all depends on what kind of like a property it is, how accessible things are. Houses, they have drain tiles, so sometimes people say, well, would that be covered? Well, that might go beyond the scope of an inspection.
Yeah.
The best thing is to talk to your inspector ahead of time and know exactly what they're going to cover so that there's no surprises on the day of that you think they're going to do, say in a rural property, a septic inspection when that's someone else's responsibility and highly unlikely that a home inspector would do that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
There's also the thing called a pre-inspection. So some sellers will feel very confident about their home that they would actually call a home inspector to come to the property and do their own pre-inspection of the home, produce a report that buyers can see when they're actually touring the property. You have a report open on the kitchen table so buyers can look through things. They can take a quick glance at the roof system, any electrical, and hopefully it would give buyers peace of mind. It doesn't mean that they won't have an inspection on their own, but it is a nice to have, and it's an option that some sellers may choose to do.
Yeah, some sellers do that. It's not required at all, and it just helps buyers, kind of like get a good sense of the home when they're thinking about purchasing it.
So let's get into what happens during the home inspection.
Well, most home inspections would run about 2 to 3 hours. The inspector will go top to bottom to do a review and look at exterior, interior, attic, crawl space if they have that.
Yeah. Home buyers are usually going to come to the inspection towards the end of the inspection, right? An inspection can take a couple of hours. It doesn't really make sense for a buyer to be on site and, stand around for 3 or 4 hours. But, in the last hour or half an hour or so, they come. They're able to meet with the inspector and do the report review right on site. That way, if an inspector wants to show them some key findings, that they can physically take them to the part of the home and say, this is what we wanted to show you, and buyers can actually see that.
Yeah. And then afterwards, you'll get a detailed written report, usually 24 to 48 hours afterwards with photos and things like that, and a lot more detail. Could be 30 to 60 pages long. It's a lot, but it's just to give you more information.
Yeah, you really don't want a home inspection report that's 1 or 2 pages. You don't want them there for 30 minutes because what are they really uncovering in a home in that period of time? You're paying them a lot of money. You want to make sure that you get a good, thorough report by someone who's detail oriented and you can trust that they've done a good analysis of the home. And that's why it takes a long period of time with a good amount of detail. Also, so that you can hold on to that. Like, I mean, a home inspection also often helps you plan your maintenance of the home, right?
It does, yeah.
So if you have this report that's 30 or 60 pages and they often say this should be updated, like a furnace filter, right? They'll say this is the furnace filter, this is where it is. Pro tip, change the furnace filter once a quarter and every quarter in a year, right? So then you're able to start your own list of what you need to do to maintain the home.
Yeah, it's very helpful.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the common issues that come up.
Yeah, a lot of the times, the most common things are generally pretty small in nature, right? Loose door handles, cabinets that don't quite align, small stuff that any homeowner is likely going to expect when buying a homeowner. We always laugh and jokingly refer to these as like, welcome to home ownership, right?
Well, and even just like the faucet or the tap might be a little bit loose, or like the toilet seat is a little bit loose.
Toilet seat caulking.
Usually those are ones,
Yeah, caulking that needs to be redone, all of that sort of stuff. This is home ownership. This is where you start your world of visiting the local home improvement stores, right? So that's typically what you're going to expect to see. They're small in nature, but you also don't want to leave these unattended because they're important to making sure that you maintain your home and it extends its longevity, right?
But then there's also some of the more like regular wear and tear. Like you might want to look at like the furnace. How old is the furnace? It could be 20 years old. Maybe the roof may need to be replaced, or maybe it's fine. But then that's what the home inspector will let you know.
That's exactly it, Liz. A home inspector will tell you, like, you know what? You still have about this much life remaining in a roof, or this is a really good solid brand of furnace, and they often last 25 or 30 years. They'll tell you whether you should plan on starting to save up for a new furnace or whether to just ride it out until it expires, right? Hot water tank is another one, right? Even electrical and windows. Some people say, oh, why would I change the windows? They're still working fine. Well, maybe, but maybe they're not as energy efficient as they could be. Again, an inspector will give you a sense of what the lifespan is of things like windows and whether you should start to plan or budget for replacement in the near future. There's also safety items that an inspector will reference, right? Things that maybe are code now, but weren't code when the home was built. One of the most common is GFCI switches, right? Basically, they're, the switches so that if some sort of electronics gets into water, it has a safety mechanism that shuts it off.
Like
so nobody
in the bathrooms.
Bathroom or kitchen, right? Well, a long time ago, they had different codes than they do now. So an inspector will explain whether it's the safety mechanism is present or not present and what you can do about it. Another common one is down in the garage. A lot of people have these doors to the garage and they should automatically swing back and close. But a lot of times people find that irritating, right? If they're bringing in groceries, they don't want to keep trying to open a door if they've got their hands full of groceries, so they disable that mechanism. Well, an inspector, a good one, right, will often kind of note that this door should clasp backwards, and if it doesn't, you might want to add it. So, like, those are all little details, but really important, right, in your journey of home ownership.
That's right. But sometimes there could be bigger concerns that you might not know of or that the home inspector finds out. There could be like cracks in the foundation that there might be something you just, you don't really see, but the home inspector can let you know. An active water leak in the roof. You might have rodents in the attic. Can get it fixed, but they will let you know that because they're going to be the ones that are checking stuff like that.
These are red flags, and an inspector is more of a generalist. They're not a specialist. So if there's something there that they're going to say, you know what, you should get more information, they're going to refer you to a contractor that you should reach out to, right? Like you said, like electricians, plumbers, roofers, someone that can give you maybe a better sense of what a cost for the repair or replacement would be. Because really, like an inspector, it's not really their job to say, this is exactly the problem, this is the process for fixing it. That's going to be where they refer to a specialist.
Yeah.
So, and how do buyers, how can they respond to a home inspection, right? The report isn't meant to scare you. It's there to help you make decisions with confidence.
That's right. And we'll make sure, we'll go over the report with you to figure out which are the ones that are the most important to be dealing with at the time, and the ones that maybe you let go, or you just, if you decide to buy the home, that you then work on later on.
You may want to request the seller do the repairs, right? Or you might ask them to reduce the price or make a pricing adjustment so that you can do them yourself. Now, the one thing we've learned in this business is sometimes when you ask a seller to do a repair, they're probably going to find the fastest, cheapest way to do it. So generally what we suggest is if you really are concerned about this repair being done right and being done the way you as a buyer would want to have it done, you should probably just try to negotiate a price adjustment and then plan to do it yourself once you become the homeowner.
Yeah. If something big comes up, we've got trusted contractors and specialists that can help you out.
Yeah, whether it's us or your agent, your trusted agent, the reason why they're trusted is because they should have a network of people that they've used in the past or their clients have used that has done great work at reasonable and fair prices to the satisfaction of their past clients, right? That's one of the main reasons, agents are trusted and often referred and reused by their clients again and again, is because they know it's not just the agent, but their network of contacts too.
Okay, and what about how are the sellers going to respond to an inspection?
Yeah, sellers, know that when you've got a home inspection coming up, it might often lead to future price renegotiations. In fact, when we work with sellers, we often say when we're negotiating that original price, when an offer comes in, remember, we still have to get past the hump of a home inspection. So we always want to try our absolute best to get as much as we can for the home before that inspection, because we still have to make it through that, and there is a chance because there might be a hidden surprise. Even if your home is absolutely well maintained, there's the attic, there's the crawl space, there's foundation, things that maybe a homeowner doesn't even know that could come up, which could be costly or not. But it's always important to give that consideration that there may be a renegotiation after that home inspection.
And typically, if the home is older, there could be issues that you might want to address. So sometimes sellers will do that pre-inspection that Greg mentioned, and just figure out what are the things that are important that you need to focus on before maybe putting your home up for sale.
Yeah, and if there is a major issue, you should disclose, right? Disclose, right? You don't want to hide anything. If they're going to have a home inspector, the inspector will find it. And you don't want to lose a deal, right? There's one thing if something is renegotiated on price, but if it's like a significant issue, a buyer might actually walk away entirely from the property. And again, if you provide that information ahead of time, maybe it's an opportunity for the buyer to think about it before they submit an offer, talk to their agent and see if it's a big concern or not, rather than being startled or scared at the end they found something that could have been passed on to them. So here's our advice. Don't let a 60-page home inspection overwhelm you. We've seen it all, and most of it is normal.
That's right. Yeah. We always remind our clients that no home is perfect. Focus on the important stuff, like structure, safety, and big ticket items.
Yeah, and we're here to guide you, right? We're here to answer those questions and help you get through the stage so that you can find that perfect home for yourself.
So if you're buying or selling a home and you want a calm, clear approach to a home inspection process, then
Yeah, just get in touch with us because we're Greg and Liz with the
Yep.
Holmes Real Estate Team, and we're happy to help.